Hey guys, it's Dotson with another Low Poly Panda review. This time we're discussing the latest in Ubisoft's famous Find a Viewpoint, kill some enemies at the locations you discovered from the viewpoint, and then take over the territories games. I know that describes Ghost Recon and Far Cry and The Division, Watch Dogs, Immortals, and I'm sure they'll somehow find a way to work that into Just Dance within the next couple of years. But for now, we're talking about the series that spawned that formula for Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed. Valhalla is the latest iteration in the Assassin's Creed series, having dropped in November of 2020 and being one of the first games I played on the new generation consoles. Let's talk about it. I think it's important to note that this review is based on gameplay done both on the PS4 and PS5, and over the span of 13-ish months. I originally put in about 70 hours into beating the base game and finished up around February of 2021. I picked it back up after Christmas of 21 when I saw the Season Pass was on sale, and have since put in another 30 to 35 hours of gameplay. The game has a ton to do in it, but we'll get to that in the gameplay section. Let's get graphics out of the way first. I always thought the Assassin's Creed series was good looking, having a more realistic feel to it than Watch Dogs, and the scenery in this one definitely doesn't disappoint. Between England, Norway, Ireland, France, Asgard, Jotunheim, North America, I think all the locations are done well. Their skyboxes were amazing, but Ireland and Norway are probably my favorite. But England, no slouch. The character models are great, and I found myself taking lots of screenshots of my character because of how good everything looked. You do run into some low-quality textures in the game world, especially like rocks and caves, but you can't blame them given the scope and size of the game. Graphics-wise, I still think it's one of the better games on the PS5 for showing off looks. There were a few hiccups I had when I first played it graphics-wise that weren't present in my 2022 playthrough. I note that there was a lot of armor and weapon clipping. The customizable hair had a floating issue where the beards might be like 3 inches in front of the armor, trying to accommodate any of the armor sets you might be wearing. It's mostly notable in cutscenes, as in normal gameplay you're not seeing it, but overall it's a very good looking game that will have you stop it on hillsides to admire the view. Next up, sound. As with Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Far Cry 6, you get to choose between a male or female protagonist. However, opposite of those, I think the male voice actor did a way better job than the female this time. In Odyssey, the female VA for Cassandra I thought was way better than the male Alexios. In Valhalla though, the male VA, Magnus Brun, absolutely kills it. He has the most memorable voice of any assassin for me, finally topping Ezio. You Last Kingdom fans will recognize the voice immediately as Knut. His trademark gravelly voice really adds depth to the character, and I never tired of hearing from him in over 100 hours of gameplay.
How do you do that, Eivor? Sleep before a battle, I mean.
Easy. I remember my mother's murder, each moment. Second, I recall every word the All-Father ever said to me. And finally, I think upon this war-filled world, and of the next, the whole of endless wonder. Only then do I rest.
The secondary and tertiary characters were all good, with a lot of familiar voices from properties such as Vikings, the Eurovision movie that was on Netflix with Will Ferrell, and The Witcher even makes an appearance. Overall, I was extremely pleased with the voice acting, the ambience, the combat sounds. You hear a lot of the same speech from guards out in the world, but all side quests are unique and they never fail to deliver. The music was good background music, but nothing stood out as an amazing score, or a moment like Red Dead Redemption 2 might have with their score. And there were no sea shanties, even though there was music on the boat. Most importantly, though, we got to talk about gameplay, and there's a ton of it. Like I said before, just the base game, working through the story, and some collectibles, not even close to finishing all locations, was over 70 hours. Adding in the DLC, which is a steal right now, by the way, well over 100 hours of gameplay, and I felt it never got stale. Firstly, there's a few new things for the series. If you compare it to Odyssey, combat, I felt was simplified. Instead of like L1 and R1 to parry, a simple timing using the same block button will do your parry now. It felt easier, but extremely satisfying still in Valhalla, with great animations across all the different weapons and special animations for dual-wielding different combos. Speaking of, the way the gear works is reworked, and I think it's the best it's been, starting with Origins and carrying over as the RPG leveling aspect. But this time, instead of tossing a weapon right after finding one of a higher level, it causes you to continuously use different weapons. You can find what you like, playstyle-wise, and level it as you see fit. Weapons can be upgraded from base all the way up to a legendary, getting new visuals and better stats along the way. Each weapon has its own unique power, like causing fire damage or dropping a smoke bomb on a kill or bonus damage after dodging, and can be further modded with runes. Same goes for armor though. Although instead of finding 100 pieces in a camp like the previous two ACs, This time you find pieces of a set, which there were probably between 1 and 2 dozen different sets. And of those sets, you still have 3 different subtypes of armor, whether it be wolf, raven, or bear, depending on if you want a stealth, archery, or warrior type gameplay. Weapon-wise, it's whatever you like. Want to wield a 2-handed sword and a 2-handed spear, or 2 tower shields, or a flail and a mace? It's whatever you want to do. The customization doesn't end there, though. For the first time ever, you can also customize your player's hair and tattoos as well. You can decorate your settlement, your ship, your lieutenants, your raiding party, your horse, your raven. This game has all the right things to make it feel unique to your liking instead of making you conform to it. And man, let's talk about skills. There are 400, if you get the DLC, 400 skill points to assign. I think in the base game it was 340, but it allows you to customize your playstyle to one of the 3 archetypes, and you can mix and match between them depending on what skills you're looking for. There's main powers you get from that. There's sub-powers you find from tomes of knowledge throughout England that allow you to call dogs or shoot poison arrows or exploding arrows or do combat rolls or knee I mean, it's just amazing the amount of customization you have on how you want to fight in this game. But there's a ton to do as well. Get a load of these completed tasks I'm scrolling through right now. Bear in mind that these are just missions I've completed. This doesn't include the side activities like hunting and fishing, drinking games, flighting, Orlog, which is a great dice game, river raids, cairnstone puzzles, stacking stones, cursed symbols, collectible designs you chase down using your parkour skills, and tons of weapons and armor to collect. That's just the base game. All the new activities and areas in the DLC in this game is chock full of content. Story-wise, you're setting up your clan with a settlement in England and trying to make nice with all the kings and lords of surrounding counties and settlements so you can live in peace finally. There's friendships, there's rivalries, traders, lovers, everything you want in an RPG story, and it does everything well. For those who are wondering, yes, there are microtransactions that can fast-track you or give you some cool-looking armor, weapons, mounts, and ships, but they're completely unnecessary. If you do like them, you can obtain all the items in-game from earning opals on daily quests or finding them in the world. Ship combat is gone, even though your longship is a main part of the game. England is a bigger map, but it isn't as populated as the map in Odyssey was, although it is much more diverse and populated than Origins. Singing in the longship is back, but it's no sea shanties. Overall, I'd say this finally overtakes Black Flag as my new favorite Assassin's Creed game. But the longer I talk, the less time you have to play it. You can pick this game up for about $20 on average, pretty much anywhere, and I'd recommend it even at the full $70, no doubt. Do yourself a favor, go pick this up today. The new DLC, which promises to be the biggest yet, drops in March, and I'm looking forward to it. If you pick it up on the PS5, be on the lookout for my Yomes Viking under the PSN name of Nation 15, and let us know in the comments below your favorite part of Eivor and Sinan's journey. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let us know what you want to see us review next.